Is my screen visible to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think for the last class we started off with the informing the public with the case of information technologies. This particular class we'll discuss more about information systems and their types. So this is especially for you, my dear students and young researchers, and you can reach me at dr.christopher@gmail.com. So thank you God for giving me this golden opportunity to deliver this useful session to share my knowledge among my fellow national, international participants, students and young researchers. So in today's class we will discuss more about a short introduction to information system, then the various dimensions of information system, the types of information system, and then TPS, transaction processing system, MIS, Management Information System, DSS, Decision Support System. Then we'll understand the difference between MIS, Management Information System, and DSS, Decision Support System. Then we'll discuss about experts system, then about office automation system, knowledge management system, and finally executive support system. Then we'll have a pyramid diagram explaining the organizational levels and information requirements. Of course, we'll discuss a very important topic which is AI, artificial intelligence techniques in business. Then we'll discuss about OLAP, online analytical processing. Okay. Of course, I've already posted the independent work in the Google Classroom. I hope you would have gone through, and we'll discuss some short videos explaining knowledge in our topics. So this is an introduction to information system. You can define an information system to be a set of interrelated components that work together in order to collect, or maybe you can process, you can store and split, or maybe break down the information to support the decision making. So arrangement of people, or maybe data, or processes, or interfaces, or networks, or technology which interact to support and improve the day-to-day operations in business, as well as support the problem solving and decision making needs of the management. So the set of interrelated components which collect, process, store and distribute data and information and provide a feedback mechanism to meet such an objective. So these interrelated components will be able to collect information, process information, store information and distribute information, and after doing all these one, it provides a feedback mechanism in order to meet the objective. So this is the objective of an information system. So we are not only collecting information and processing information, but we are trying to get the feedback, and we are doing the problem solving and decision making needs of the management. So these are the dimensions of information system. We have first of all organizational dimension, second one management dimension, third one technology dimension. Okay, so we will discuss about these three one. With the case of organization dimension, the information system is a part of organization. So information system will have the standard operating procedure and culture of an organization embedded within them. So we have like functional specialties, business processes, culture and political interest groups. With the case of management dimension, the managers they perceive business challenges in the environment, and information systems supply tools or maybe information needed by the managers to allocate, coordinate, and monitor their work, make their decision, create new products and services, and make long-range strategic decisions. So their work is to not only create products but also coordinate all the activities and make a long range strategic decision. Next, we have a technology dimension. So the management uses technology to carry out their functions. So it consists of computer hardware or maybe software, data management technology, network or maybe telecom technology as well. So these are some of the tools that are used by the managers to actually cope up with the needy change. So this is organizational dimension, management dimension, and technology dimension. So these are the types of information systems. We can classify the information systems based on the organization levels. Like for example, we already dealt with the organization dimension, management dimension, and then technology dimension. So we had like different dimensions. So accordingly, we can classify the information system based on the organization levels, or maybe mode of data, or maybe mode of processing, the system objectives, and the type of support which is provided. Okay. So first of all, we'll deal with the TPS, transaction processing system. So in transaction processing system, the information system which processes the data resulting from the occurrence of business transaction. Okay. So from the business transaction, we are going to process the data. Okay. So the objective is to provide transaction in order to update the records or maybe generate the reports. Okay. So in the business transaction, you have to collect information and you have to update the information and you have to generate the reports. Okay. So this transaction is performed in two ways: batch processing and online transaction processing. Okay. So the examples being, for example, in your company or maybe industry, you will have a bill system or maybe a payroll system which is going to pay the salary. So everything we need to update the records and you have to generate the reports every month. And for example, stock control system. For example, if you are dealing with maybe share or maybe stocks, so it has a control system. So this is an example of transaction processing system. So this is an example where we try to give the input and then you have the transaction, okay, through mails in the computer, and then there is a system which is going to process, and the output would be in the form of invoices or monthly bills or maybe reports and summaries, maybe of individual transactions or maybe of collected or maybe group transactions, and then you have the updated data for processing. So in transaction processing system, we have like different uh, applications. Well, in the case of sales or maybe orders, salary or wages, purchases, okay, transaction database, manufacturing, or maybe employees, warehouse, or maybe if you have to manage the income taxes, everything comes under transaction processing system. So transaction processing systems, we are going to record the day-to-day business transactions of the organizations. Normally, it is used by users at the operation management level. So the main objective of transaction processing system is, for example, you ask some questions. Okay, how printers were sold today? So that's how transaction processing system functions. Or how much inventory do we have at hand? What is the outstanding due for a person? By recording the day-to-day business transaction, the transaction processing system generally provides answers to the above questions, maybe in a timely manner. Okay, how printers were sold today? Okay, at what rate it is being sold? How much inventory, resources, manpower we have at hand? What is outstanding due for one person, one particular person? Okay, these things we can answer accordingly in the case of transaction processing system. So the decisions made by the operational managers are routine and highly structured, and the information produced from the transaction processing system is very detailed. Okay, so there is detailed information, and decisions are very continuous. Okay. So in transaction processing system, here for example, normally if you are running shortage of money, okay, if you are running shortage of money, then banks that give out loans require that the company that a person works for should have a MOU with the bank. Okay, so maybe for example, if one particular bank is giving loan to a company or maybe organization, so what they will do is they will establish a memorandum of understanding. But in the memorandum of understanding, they will give the conditions clearly. For example, if you do not pay the amount, means like we will be taking like maybe some percentage of shares from your company. So something like that, there will be some conditions so that the company will have uh, a good time to pay all the debt. So if a person whose employer has a MOU with a bank applies for a loan, all that operational staff has to do is to verify the submitted documents, because there shouldn't be any fake documents. So if they meet the requirements, then the loan application documents are processed. So if they are found to be false, means they will not process these documents. Okay. So if they do not meet the requirements, then the client is advised to see the tactical management staff to see the possibility of signing MOU. So they will give you some suggestions. What are the requirements that has to make for smooth signing of MOU. So in the cases of example of transaction processing system, we have point of sale systems. Okay, uh, and then where point of sale systems, we have the records daily sales. Okay, like how much product has been sold, or at what rate it is being maybe given to. So these details it will have, and then you have the payroll systems where we have the loan management, or maybe processing the employee salary. Everything is there in the payroll system. And then stock control system, it is going to keep track of the inventory levels. And then airline booking system, like flights booking management. For example, how many flights are available today, and how many seats are vacant, maybe in the normal class or maybe the business class. So what are the passengers, or who are the passengers who are enjoying the gold member benefit, silver member benefit, or maybe normal member benefit. So everything we will have all these details in the airline booking systems. In the case of types of information system, uh, the second one is MIS, Management Information System. So management information system is designed to take relatively raw data available through the transaction processing system, and you have to convert it to a more summarized, okay, a more structured and aggregated form for the manager, usually in the form of a report. Okay. So its reports tending to be used by the middle level management and operational supervisors. So this is management information system. So what they're saying is, you have to collect the raw data through the transaction processing system, and you have to make it more structured, maybe in the form of report format, and you have to give it to the middle level management and operational supervisors. Okay. But with the case of MIS, there are different types of reports. For example, some might be summary report, or maybe some on-demand report, or maybe ad hoc report. Ad hoc report means end-to-end report, or maybe peer-to-peer report. Okay, and then exception report. So there are different uh, formats of this report in MIS. For example, you have like sales management systems and human resource management system, where you will have some human resources to deal with people, or maybe personal for handling the sales management. All this one we will have in the management information system. Then, with the case of functions of UMIS, we have internal transactions, which are the inputs, internal files, and structured data. And for the processing, we have sorting, merging, or maybe summarizing. And then with the case of outputs, we have like summary reports, action reports, and detailed reports. So the case of MIS, we have like several functions. For example, like uh, the input, we try to give the transaction database coming from the transaction processing system, and we are going to give out the production schedules, profit or loss statement, whether it is having profit or maybe loss, budget reports, sales summary, everything we are giving in the case of management information system. So management information system generally it is used by tactical managers to monitor the organization's current performance status. So the output of TPS, transaction processing system, is used as input to the management information system. So what the management information system does is it analyzes the input with the routine algorithms. It is going to aggregate, it is going to compare, it is going to summarize the results to produce reports that tactical managers use to monitor, control, and predict the future performance. For example, the input from the point of sale system can be used to analyze trends of products that are performing well and those that are not performing well. So this information you can use it for future inventory orders. Whenever you are giving away the input, you are going to analyze the trends of the products, and you can come to a decision whether one product is performing well or maybe another product is performing well. So if one product is not at all performing well, you are going to ignore that one. Okay. Or else, what you can do is the strategy how you can sell the not performing products, so that you can think of, and increasing orders for well performing products and reduce the orders of the products that are not performing well. So this is what you do in a management information system. So these are the examples of management information system. I think I've already told you, like we have like a sales management systems. They get the input from the point of sale system, and a budgeting system it gives an overview of how much money is actually spent within the organization, short terms or maybe long terms. And in HRM, human resource management system, it is the overall welfare of the employees, staff turnover, etc. And tactical managers are responsible for the semi-structured decision. Okay, because the management information system it is going to provide information needed to make the structured decision, and based on the experience of the tactical managers, they make the judgment calls. So they will be predicting how much of the goods or maybe inventory should be ordered for the second quarter based on the sales of the first quarter. So these are the examples, some of the examples of management information system. And then we go to the third one, which is nothing but decision support system, DSS. So it's an interactive information system that provides information. We provide model and maybe data manipulation tools to help in making a decision in a semi-structured and unstructured situation. So decision support system, you have tools or maybe techniques to help in gathering the relevant information. So it's going to analyze the options and alternatives. So end user is more involved in creating the decision system than a management information system. For example, in financial planning or maybe bank loan management system, so they will have like different tools or maybe techniques to gather information to actually analyze the submitted information, okay, and provide any alternatives, okay, maybe to give suggestion, maybe if some person is applying for a loan or maybe some company is applying for a loan or some industry is applying for a loan, and if they do not meet the requirements, then we should make some suggestions. Okay, what are the needs for a successful loan sanction? So something like that, we should be able to make the decision support. So this is what you call it with a decision support system. functions of decision support system. The inputs we have internal transactions, internal files, and external information. With the case of processing, we have modeling, simulation, analysis, and summarizing. And then the outputs we have summary reports, forecasts, and graphs or plots. So the case of um, the decision support system, we have the internal data, and then we have the external data. Okay, so this one is given to the decision support programs, where we tend to feed the decision support data. Okay, and we have the decision support models as well. So this decision support data and decision support models are inbuilt within the decision support programs, where we feed the internal data as well as the external data. This is being fed to the user, and from the user we are going to generate the reports and feedback to the system. Okay, so this is the input and this is the output. Okay, so we generate reports and feedback to the system. So this is all about decision support system. So decision system, the support system, they are used by the senior management to make the non-routine decisions. Okay, right? So it's not a routine decision, but it's a non-routine decision. So decision support system uses inputs from the internal systems and external systems. Okay, and the main objective is to provide solutions to problems that are unique and change frequently. Okay. So, for example, what would be the impact of employee performance if we double the production lot at the factory? Okay. So, you might be asking a question: what would be the impact of the employee performance if we double the production lot? So, similarly, their performance has to be increased, their salary has to be increased, and overtime also will be increased. Or else, what you should do? Uh, Examine the performance when you are given with such conditions and how they are performing. Okay. Suppose some employees they perform in overtime. Some employees they do not perform in overtime. So that thing you should analyze. And what would happen to our sale if a new competitor enters into the market? So we should develop some new strategies. Otherwise, we cannot stay in the business market. Okay. So what would happen to our sales if a new competitor entered in the market? So we would be answering all these questions in a decision support system. And examples of decision support system, we have financial planning system. Generally, it enables the managers to evaluate alternate ways of achieving goals. Okay. For example, the net profit for a business is actually calculated by total sales, okay, minus cost of goods and expenses. Okay, right? So this is how you calculate the net profit. And a financial planning system will enable the senior executives to ask what if questions and adjust the value for the total sales, the cost of goods, to see the effect of the decision and on the net profit and find the most optimal way. And in the case of bank loan management system, it is used to verify the credit of the loan applicant and predict the likelihood of the loan being recovered. So this is the comparison between management information system and decision support system. Management information system focus on the structured tasks, but decision support system focuses on semi-structured tasks. Management information system emphasizes on data storage, but decision support system emphasizes on data manipulation. Management information system, we have the data often accessed indirectly by the managers, but decision support system, the data is accessed directly by the managers. Management information system places emphasis on the efficiency of decision, but decision support system places emphasis on the effectiveness of decision. In the case of management information system, it provides practical information to top management to take decisions. But decision support system, it provides strategic information. In management information system, need is regular, need is continuous, need is recurring. Okay, it is repeating, but the decision support system, the need is irregular. So these are the some of the uh, comparison between management information system and decision support system. So we are going to continue the same. Next we'll deal about the export system. So experts system generally will be having expertise in order to aid the managers in problem solving or maybe identifying the problems or maybe solve the particular problem. Okay. So it is going to give support for the managers to identify problem and solve the problem. So these systems are based on the principles of artificial intelligence research. So expert system is a knowledge-based information system. So it's going to use its knowledge about a specified, an act as an expert consultant to users. Okay. So it is based on a knowledge-based information system, and it is going to give a expert consultant to the users. Okay. So here we have modules like the knowledge-based modules as well as software-based modules. These modules actually perform to an maybe inference on the knowledge and offer access to a user specific. So it's going to provide solution, but before that, it is going to identify any other problems which are involved, or maybe identify the problems, and you're going to go with the problem solving. For going for the problem solving, we should have some knowledge. So that's the reason we are going for expert systems where we have knowledge based and software models. So based on the user's question, okay, we are coming to a conclusion, okay, which type of support we have to give the managers in order to identify and solve the particular problem. Next up is Office Automation System. So Office Automation System is a network of various tools, computing technologies, and people required to conduct the clerical and managerial tasks. So the typical examples include printing documents, mailing paperwork, maintaining a company calendar, and producing reports. So, in an office automation system, generally assists in enhancing the communication among different departments, so everyone can collaborate to complete a particular task. So, it is all about not only one but many, but collaborating in order to perform tasks, maybe like printing documents, like mailing paperwork, maintaining a company calendar, and producing the reports. So Office automation systems can generally integrate with email or word processing applications to ensure that all communication data is easily accessible and in one centralized location. So by utilizing an Office automation system, businesses can improve communication between workers, streamline managerial activities, and optimize the knowledge management. So this is what we do in our Office automation system. In the case of knowledge management system, so knowledge management system generally we have the system to store, extract information to help users enhance their knowledge and optimize the collaboration efforts to complete the tasks. So normally the examples include employee training materials, company policies, procedures, or answers to customer questions. Uh, in a knowledge management system, we have information that's being used by the employees, customers, management, and various other stakeholders involved with the organization. So it ensures that technical abilities are integrated throughout the company while providing visuals to help employees make sense of the data. So the knowledge management system, uh, we have like different training materials, company policies and procedures which are accessible by employees, customers, management, and several stakeholders. So this information system also provides access to the external information which is required by the workers who need outside knowledge to complete their roles. Okay, so they will understand. Okay, these are the roles that we have to do, and these are the external roles we have to do. These are the internal roles that we have to do. So as to complete the particular task. So, for example, a knowledge management system may hold competitive data that help a sales team member optimize his or her own strategy when pitching to a customer. Okay, so this is what we have to do. So we shouldn't follow our own thing, but we should read the minds of the competitor, and we should develop a smart competitor strategy. So because knowledge management system shares expertise and provides answers to essential questions, using one can generally improve the communication among the team members and assist everyone in meeting the performance goals. And finally, we have the executive support system. So it's similar to the decision support system, but primarily used by the executive leaders and owners to optimize the decision making. So, expert system helps enterprise leaders find answers to non-routine questions so they can make the choices that improve the company's outlook and performance. So, unlike decision support system, executive support system provides better telecommunication functionality and better computing functionality. So this is how we use the executive support system. So this is the top level support system where we're trying to give some suggestions to the leaders in order to understand the market, okay, and make choices that improve the company's output and performance. So here in the executive support system, we have the graphics software which is integrated with the executive support system to display data about tax regulations, new competitive status, internal compliance issues, and other relevant executive information. Okay. So this executive support system generally allows leaders to track their internal performance, monitor the competition, and pinpoint the growth opportunities. So they will be dealing with the subordinates, will be the regional manager, okay, and work together, maybe analyze the performance and work together to a common goal, okay, to improve the company's sales or maybe to cope up with the competitor in the growing market. So we have enterprise resource planning. We provide the organization-wide integration of important business activities, handle the allocation of resources to optimize the efficiency. And then we have the accounting information system, which manages all the accounting information in an organization, including payroll, to streamline the human resource tasks. And then we have the sales management system, an information system that manages and monitors all of the sales and marketing data in an organization to streamline each step of the sales process. So these are the information systems that span organization boundaries. So here we have the operational, managerial, and executive level. Okay, like we have the this is structure, this is semi-structure, and this is unstructured. Okay, so from here, from the executive management support system, here we have the decision support system, expert system, office automation system, collaboration technologies, functional AI information system, and global information system. So these are all exchange between the executive, manager, and operational. So this is the pyramid diagram of the organization levels and information requirements. So we have to understand the various levels of organization. Only then you will be able to understand the information that is required by the users to operate at their respective levels. For example, you have we at the bottom or at the lower level we have operational management, and next comes tactical management. Then finally strategic management. So this is structure, this is semi-structured, and this is unstructured. With the case of operational management, we have TPS, Transaction Processing System. Tactical management, we have MIS, Management Information System. And finally, strategic management, we have DS, Decision Support System, and Information System. So this is the pyramid diagram of the organization levels and information requirements. So in the case of operational management level, the operational level is generally concerned with performing day-to-day business transactions, generally like cashiers at a point of sale, or maybe bank tellers, nurses in a hospital, customer care staff, and so on. Then users at this level make structured decisions, which means that they have defined rules, okay, in making decisions. Okay. For example, if a store sells items on credit and they have a credit policy that has some limit on the borrowing, all the salesperson need to decide whether to give credit to the customer or not. It's based on the current credit information from the system. Okay. So you have to decide whether to give a credit or not. Okay, based on the current credit information. So they will have some rules, maybe procedures. They will have some limit. Okay. Accordingly, they will make a decision. So this is operational management level. This is the lower most. And next comes middle level, tactical management level. So the organization level is dominated by the middle level managers, head of the department, supervisors, etc. The users at this level usually oversee the activities of the users at the operational management level, and they make semi-structured decisions. Okay. So these decisions are partly, it is semi-structured, so it is partly based on set guidelines and judgment calls. So as an example, a tactical manager can check the credit limit and payment history of a customer and decide to make an exception to raise the credit limit for a particular customer. So this decision is partly structured in the sense that the tactical manager has to use the existing information to identify a payment history that benefits the organization and allow increased percentage. So this is the semi-structured management. And finally, the topmost strategic management level. So this is the most senior level in an organization, and the users at this level make unstructured decisions. Okay, because based on the competitive market, based on the competitors, based on analyzing the performance, they make this unstructured decisions. So senior level managers, they are concerned with the long-term planning of the organization. They use information from the tactical managers and external data to guide them when making the unstructured decisions. Here comes a very important part, AI, artificial intelligence techniques in business. So generally, artificial intelligence systems mimic the human expertise to identify patterns in large data sets. So here we have several companies like Amazon, Facebook, or Google, which uses artificial intelligence techniques to identify the data which is most relevant to you. For example, in the case of Facebook, it makes very accurate predictions of people that you might know are meant to score. This is all because of your mobile number, okay, or maybe your WhatsApp data. For example, WhatsApp is connected with Facebook, and it will store the information. For example, you might have like 10 friends, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and so on. Okay, so this Facebook, what it does, it gets the information, and it will display this information, the friend suggestion in Facebook. So you might be wondering, okay, how they have this information, which means that your WhatsApp data is linked with Facebook, and it is going to provide the friend suggestion. Okay. They use the data that you provide to them, the data that your friends provide. Okay, and based on this information, it makes predictions of people that you might know. For example, there is also another application called Truecaller, okay, which means that maybe if you search for a particular number in Truecaller, it will give you a suggestion of your name, display name. Okay. So how it does means like everybody is seeing that particular number. Okay. So this content is primarily stored in one particular database, and somebody who is trying to search for a number, they will be getting the information accordingly. Okay. So this particular person is in this particular country. Okay. This is the email ID, or maybe this is a contact number. So something like that. It uses artificial intelligence techniques in the business. So Amazon uses artificial intelligence techniques to suggest products that you should buy based on what you are currently getting. For example, if you are searching for one particular product, okay, you are keeping on searching daily means it will give you suggestions based on that search. Or else, if you are trying to buy one set of products, so it will give you many more suggestions. It will give you many more offers. For example, if you buy two products, it will give you some discount. So something like that, it will be giving you some suggestions. Google also uses artificial intelligence to give you the most relevant searches. For example, if you are continuously searching on this one, it will show you some ads that are relevant to your search results based on your interactions with Google and your location. Even Instagram uses this one. Okay. These techniques have greatly contributed in making these companies very successful because they are able to provide value to their customers. So this is the function of AI in business. And finally comes OLAP, Online Analytical Processing. Okay, Online Analytical Processing, OLAP. It is used to query and analyze the multi-dimensional data and produce information that can be viewed in different ways using multiple dimensions. For example, let us take the case a company sells laptops, desktops, and mobile devices. So they have four branches A, B, C, and D. So an online analytical processing can be used to view the total sales of each product in all the regions. And you can compare the actual sales with the projected sales. Okay, so they can say, okay, A has performed this much, D has performed this much, B and C are not performing this much. So you can compare the sales. Okay, and you can compare the projected sales. And you can advise B and C. Okay, they have to follow the strategy of A and D in order to stay in the market. So something like that, we have online analytical process. So each piece of information such as product, number of sales, sales value, they represent a different dimension. So the main objective is to provide answers to ad hoc queries within the shortest possible time, regardless of the size of the data sets being used. So this is the independent work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this independent work. Okay, start. I've already posted them in the Google Classroom.